How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to go inside Zenless for something that I know came in the update for version 1.1. If you end up going to the Agents tab and then let's say go to Juyin and you click on one of the disk drives, I did not know that they added a recommend tab, which I think is a pretty cool thing in regards to making it easy for some people to look at their builds and see how to build these characters. The only problem with this is some of these are wrong. Some people are, in my opinion, not building these characters right, because it's a little weird to see some of these characters with certain sets that a majority of the player base is using. Of course, right now for Juyin, this one is pretty much correct. 68% is using 4-piece ether, 100% makes sense. And then also looking at the 2-piece woodpecker goes into the crit rate. Now, I know right now, for those that don't know, this is actually not Juyin's best set at the current moment. Apparently 4-piece woodpecker is better in DPS, but when it comes to grinding out the character itself, I still think Juyin with 4-piece ether is a pretty good deal and something that you probably shouldn't regrind for, but for the most part, this is pretty much correct and a pretty good thing as well. I do see someone rocking 2-piece energy regen, which could help out if you have a good ratio for crit damage, so that works as well. And same thing goes for the attack percentage set, also a pretty nice thing to have if your ratios are looking good or this is all you're available to have. But the majority of the player base is rocking the 4-piece ether and the 2-piece woodpecker. The thing that made me start, I guess you could say, recording this video is I was looking at Qingyi, and this is where I first saw this tab with the recommend tab, and I saw that a majority of the player base is using impact set with 2-piece electro. Now at this point I was like, it kind of makes sense for the most part because Qingyi does have attack scaling within her own impact stat, so it makes sense to give her a little bit more damage. She's able to do a little bit more for the team and it makes sense. But in my honest opinion, I do think the energy regen set's a little bit better. That way you're able to not only build up your bar a little faster, but you're also able to skill more often, which leads to a lot more days. And the more energy you have, the more times you're able to use that hold skill, which does an insane amount of days to that enemy. So for this one, I kind of understood. So after looking at this, I really wanted to see the other supports in the game. And when I saw Nicole's, I instantly started ready to get making this video, because right now, as we see it in the recommendations tab, which I don't know how quick this was to be statted up, because we already have stats for Qingyi, which I think is kind of crazy because usually they make us wait a patch after to see the newest characters recommendations, and somehow they already have all of this. So I don't know if this is live. I don't know if it gets updated every day. This is something that I'm not sure of at the moment. But this is all that we know in regards to we do have the stats for most of these characters. But going back to Nicole, we're going to see that we are seeing a 4-piece ether with, oh, not 4-piece ether, 4-piece energy regen, which makes 100% sense, with 2-piece ether. Now, personally for me, looking at Nicole doesn't need to have the ether set in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion, just because she not only takes no time on the field, but only that, there's kind of no incentive to helping out her ether damage when all it's there for is to provide you with this nasty core passive, which is that 40% reduced down once you level her up as high as possible. And of course, most people are probably going to be in that 36% range, but this is all that she's needed for. Same thing goes for her core passive or her team passive. Whenever you have that ether field out on the field, you get an ether damage bonus, which is going to help somebody like Juyin. So looking at how we have this stat tab, and we're seeing that people are rocking 2-piece ether, I kind of see that as a little bit of wasted stat, only because we're not using Nicole for her damage. In no way, shape, or form are we using for her damage. We're using her for the most part for her grouping, and also for the same for reducing that defense, and even so for the ether damage bonus for Juyin. So stuff like 4-piece energy, which I'm currently rocking because of how good that 4-piece is with you launching a chain attack or an ultimate, which you will always be launching a chain attack with Nicole to be able to give not only that defense down, ether bonus, and the squad bonus of this one for 15% for 12 seconds, which is a pretty big deal when it comes to how good that is for a support. This is what I'm rocking on my Nicole right now, and then I'm rocking 2-piece anomaly because having that anomaly proficiency, Nicole or Juyin are going to non-stop proc corruption just because of how much ether damage they end up dishing out by themselves personally. So looking at having 4-piece energy and 2-piece anomaly, 100% makes sense. Even 4-piece anomaly, it makes sense as well because you're getting that proficiency to help out with the reactions. Not only that, For the 4-piece, whenever you use your EX special, which you can do with Nicole and then quick assist into Juyin, you're going to be able to reduce the anomaly buildup res by 20%, which makes it so that you're proccing more corruptions more fast. So it's actually a really good thing to have for Nicole, and what I usually would run before I ran my energy reset or energy regen set. And these two make a lot of sense. 2-piece energy regen, 4-piece anomaly if you want more of a disorder team plus more corruption, or 4-piece energy regen and 2-piece anomaly makes a lot of sense. Me personally, seeing this chaotic metal 2-piece on Nicole, this isn't the way to go in my honest opinion, and isn't something that is usable on Nicole in my opinion, because we're not using her for damage. Same thing goes if we can go to other supports. Let's see what other characters have builds that I'm currently if and so about, because I do think it makes sense for some people to think it's an ice character. Let me go ahead and use the ice disc drive set, but for the most part we have to take account for the stats that are on the character, what makes sense for them. And to explain it, for Lycan, let's say, of course we want 4-piece impact because that's his role. He's a stunner. He wants to stun as fast as possible. That way we get a stun damage multiplier. That way they get stunned. That way they get paralyzed. All that different type of stuff that comes with them being dazed. And then looking at his 2-piece, well, it does kind of make sense to rock a ice set on him. But I do think that although you could make your Lycan hit hard, it is very much possible, especially if you start putting some crit rate, crit damage stats on him. The problem with it is, I know a lot of people at the current moment in the game do not have the ability to grind out insane min-max relics to be able to level up their Lycan to make them a DPS slash stunner, because we have to make sure that he's fulfilling his proper role when it's being done. So you want to make sure you're stunning as fast as possible. So what better way to do that than to do 4-piece impact and 2-piece energy regen? That way you're able to spam your skill much longer, having a bunch of invulnerability frames, and not only that, being able to get more days off with your skill. It makes a lot of sense because that's what your skills are based off of, the energy regen that you have. Looking at Lycan's recommended tab, we see that a lot of people, and I mean a lot, are rocking 2-piece ice. I would definitely like to see the amount of people with good crit rate and crit damage on Lycan, because it just doesn't, in my opinion, make a crap ton of sense to make a stunner a DPS when you are gimping the stunner's ability to stun. It makes a lot of sense if people are doing it because that's what they thought was fine, but in my honest opinion, I do think rocking something like a 2-piece energy is a pretty big deal in regards to helping out with stunning the enemy as fast as possible, because then allows someone like Ellen to come into the field and go absolutely insane with her damage. So I do think a lot of people are not prioritizing the energy regen set enough, because I do think this set is actually super freaking good for a bunch of different characters, not only for stunners but also for supports as well, and even more so for other characters like Anomaly, which we still have to play around with, because I can't wait to get Jane and showcase her off, which is going to allow us to test some different things with, does she want energy, does she want only Anomaly proficiency and that's it, does she want some type of attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage? There's a lot of stuff that we could talk about, but I do think the energy regen set is a little bit undervalued at the current moment, and something I think a lot of people should look forward to in building into their stunners and also for their supports as well, because I think it's a pretty big boost in amount of skills that you're throwing out and helping you out with, let's say, someone like Nicole. You're getting more energy fields out, which means you're keeping out that defense reduced field for a very long time. Same thing goes for stunners like Lycan and Qingyi. They're able to use their skill more often, which gives them a fat ton of days and an easier way to dodge attacks that aren't just your actual dodge. So looking at these characters, you definitely want to try and get this piece a little bit more often, or pull these pieces onto your units. They do drop with the ether set, so it's not that hard to grind, especially if you have Juyin, because you probably got a good amount of these while grinding them out. I do kind of want to look at a couple of different characters to see what people are rocking. This one makes sense, like I said before, for Juyin. Looking at Ellen, this one's actually going to be pretty, I guess you could say, interesting, because I know that the 4-piece ice isn't the craziest on Ellen. Is actually, I think 4-piece woodpecker would be better, and let's see how it is being done. Wow, that's actually kind of crazy. So it is 4-piece ice with 2-piece woodpecker, 4-piece ice with the pen ratio set, which these 100% make sense, and then 4-piece ice with 2-piece attack. That is all good in Ellen's disc drives, and to be honest, it's not that bad in regards to how to actually build Ellen. I do know that 4-piece woodpecker is the best possible build for Ellen. The only problem with that, a lot harder to grind, especially when looking at the woodpecker set being dropped with the defense set. So this makes a lot of sense why this looks like this, and to be honest, this looks pretty good in regards to if someone wanted to pull Ellen, that would be the right way to grind them out. I do want to look at other characters, like maybe the Anomaly set for Grace and see what people are putting on her. 4-piece with 2-piece electric, that makes a lot of sense. 4-piece electric with 2-piece anomaly. What's the 4-piece electric's effect? As long as they are shocked in combat, the equipper's attack is increased by 28%. That one I'm not gonna say on, just because I don't know how that affects Grace personally, so I won't be putting my say on that set. But then 4-piece anomaly to 2-piece woodpecker, that's kind of crazy. I don't think these characters, especially the anomaly characters, need any crit rate, crit damage. I could be wrong, but I don't think they need it necessarily. Looking at Rena, this one I'm very interested in seeing what people are putting on. I put 4-piece energy with 2-piece pen ratio because she works on pen ratio, and the energy regen set is just so nasty. Being able to get that chain attack, which gives you a 50% squad boost to all their damage by 15% for 12 seconds, pretty big deal, pretty big stat. So I really want to know what people are building on their arena. 4-piece energy, 2-piece pen, good. That's actually really nice. The 4-piece anomaly with 2-piece pen, honestly, that is very interesting as a build. I can see that working because, again, remember, this does give you the attribute anomaly buildup res minus 20%, so this allows enemies to get shocked way faster. And with her being on the team, I think she personally makes shock last longer onto these enemies, which is correct. She does make it last longer, and it does help out the electric damage bonus if they are still shocked. So that is a pretty good decision for a lot of people to build on the arena, so that makes a lot of sense for the most part. And I want to just see any other character that would make a lot of sense. My Sokaku's not built, so don't look at that. 4-piece energy with 2-piece attack, yes, this is a really good setup for Sokaku, 100%. 4-piece energy, of course, for the chain attack damage boost for the whole team. 2-piece attack is because she scales off attack. Perfect. I'm glad this is at the top. 2-piece ice, not necessarily needed for her. She's not there for the damage. She is there to support. That is the one takeaway I really do want to say about these characters right now in the game, is that they have the potential to do damage, yes. And if you somehow have some crazy min-max builds for these characters, then maybe putting on these 2-piece ice, 2-piece electric, 2-piece ether can work. But remember, you want to make sure they're doing their job first. And doing their job equals most supports getting the energy regen 4-piece, because that's a big boost to damage, and you will be chain attacking at all times. So this is something that you're proccing non-stop. And then giving them something like anomaly proficiency set, giving them an attack percentage set, giving them the impact set, anything else, those are the really good things to rock on them. But for the most part, you really don't want to try to slap on these damage percentage pieces, just because they're not there to do that. Someone like Sokaku is there to boost the crap out of someone like Ellen and give her the attack bonus that she has for herself based on her own kit. Same thing goes for someone like Nicole. You really want to make sure that you're proccing the energy regen set, and then anomaly proficiency to help out someone like Julien, with Nicole being able to easily proc corruption onto enemies. So this helps out a lot in regards to the extra damage you are getting there. And same thing goes for Qingyi, 4-piece impact, 2-piece energy regen. I do think a lot of people are undervaluing the energy regen aspect of the game and how that helps you out with a lot of the skills in the game, because you're able to get a crap ton, and I mean a crap ton of days, by using your skills a lot more often. And especially with characters like Qingyi, where you're able to get these nasty dazes off, you're able to stay in your state where you're splashing around the electric damage a lot more. It's a pretty big deal. I think this is a really cool video that we ended up doing in regards to looking at a bunch of these characters and see how people were building them, because I do think for the most part it makes a lot of sense how this ends up working out with, let's say, 4-piece anomaly on Piper with 2-piece energy regen. That's what I rocked, and that's what 25% of players are rocking. I do see that some people are rocking 4-piece anomaly with 2-piece physical. Me personally, I still don't know if this affects the anomaly. I do have to check that myself or look it up myself, but this is something that is pretty good in my honest opinion, seeing that these two are at the top. Anomaly proficiency with the anomaly set and the anomaly role characters, pretty good in my opinion. Other than that, I don't think there's any other characters that are absolutely crazy that I have to look at, because generally all the characters that I've covered so far, when it comes to Qingyi, when it comes to Lycan, Nicole, looking at the anomaly characters, a lot of them are built the right way and shown in the menu. Or actually no, Grace is shown right in the menu, and so is Rena. But looking at the supports, a lot of people are undermining the energy regen set, just because we are rocking the ether set onto the Nicole, which I find is a little crazy. I find that a little crazy. But to be honest, I do understand some people are still building out their characters. I just want to say, try to not pop on any damage percentage on them, because remember, they got to do their job. That's the main thing of the game. You want them to do their job. Qingyi is there to stun, make her stun. Give her the impact set, give her the 2-piece energy regen so that she can proc her skill more often. Same thing goes for Lycan. For Nicole, You want to give her the energy regen set. You want to give her the 2-piece anomaly proficiency. That way she's able to help out Zhu Yin with those corruption procs. And then same thing goes for anybody else. I think for the most part, pretty good in regards to some of the characters in the menu. I think this is a good stepping stone for helping out a bunch of players try to learn how to build characters. But there are going to be some discrepancies, like the DPSs for the most part. A lot of them are usually correct. That's a pretty good thing because these are the main characters people like to summon on in the first place. So I like that these are for the most part correct. They might not be the best build, but these are certainly really good builds to be going forward to. But the supports, I really do hope in the future that we can start looking at energy regen a lot more, because it's a little bit crazy that this is this far low under the electric set. And like I said, it makes a lot of sense that we do have the electric set on the electric character, the ice character with the ice set. It makes sense. But we got to remember, these are supports at the end of the day. Stunners, supports, these characters love to have skills, and their skills drive them towards the things that they want to do the most. Nicole's able to give the defense reduce and give a quick assist. Someone like Qingyi and Lycan, they're able to use their skill and get a lot more days off of it, and even enjoy a bunch of invulnerability frames that are going to help you out with dodging a bunch of attacks and allowing you to just do animations that ignore all of what the enemy is doing and going ahead and doing your job and stunning them. So hopefully with this video, it kind of persuaded you to be like, oh wait, I do have an ice piece on my Lycan, or I do have a lightning set on my Qingyi. Swap it out for energy regen, you'll see a big difference in how fast you can daze them, how many skills you're getting, how fast you're building up your meters, all that different type of stuff. It's a really cool thing to see. But other than that, that's pretty much it with this video. I am just pretty excited to see that this was in the game. I didn't know it was in the game, but it's pretty cool to see what everyone's building on their characters. Hey, maybe next patch you can come back and look at the same thing and see if these change at all. That would be a really cool thing for the most part. But regardless, a lot of these stunners, a lot of these supports, slap on an energy regen piece to them, either 4-piece or 2-piece. It's gonna be a world of a difference than having a damage boost. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.